I got into percussion mainly through the drum and bugle corps activity. Growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, every neighborhood seemed to have a drum corps and Boy Scout troops and activities, and I just kind of gravitated towards the drum corps and started when I was 10 years old, and had some great teachers. Starting out, Mitch Markovich, 5-time undefeated national rudimental drummer, then with the Cavaliers, later with the Royal Airs, and through the 60s then, and when I got into college, I had done drum corps for 10 years, and I think I want to do music for a living, and had a good mentor that pointed me in the direction of a great college, and from there I decided that I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to play music and teach music, and that kind of led me to develop my concert skills besides the marching skills. So. Well, there's some serendipity behind getting involved with innovative percussion. One was that Eric Johnson marched in the Cavaliers when I was teaching them, so I knew Eric as a performer, and after he went through school, he's asked, for my impressions of things he was designing, and some knowledge of, what I knew about the market and product needs for performers and teachers. And so I knew Eric at the start of his company, and when I had the opportunity to get on board and show some unique designs that I had for implements, he just was all ears and very receptive, and kind of helped me get on the product side of a performer too. So I had developed a signature line of marching sticks before Innovative got around, and the company was sold, and with Eric starting his company, I thought, I want to be with family, I want to be with friends, and I presented some ideas for some interesting concert snare drum sticks. I had a relative that worked near Gettysburg Museum and had a set of marching sticks from the Civil War, and they had a really unique design, and I would play concert snare with them sometimes, and the shape of the profile of the stick and the bead shape was something I thought, if I could trim this down a bit, this would make a great concert stick that's really responsive at soft dynamic levels, gets a full sound, is easy to roll. So when I'm playing in my role as a principal percussionist with the Lexington Philharmonic, or teaching students at Delacluse Etude, they just had the perfect response to that kind of style of music. And so that was pretty much the first thing that they designed for me, helped me design based on a Civil War stick. So I've kind of, that was my inspiration, and from there we developed another stick, the JC2, which I nicknamed my maestoso stick. The beat is elongated, it's a darker sound, and great for playing certain orchestral works like Bartok and Sheriff Orchestra. That's a kind of a darker sound, maybe stylistically, and also for playing solo concert pieces, the snare drum pieces, multi-percussion, and it just has a different bead shape, and that gives it a darker sound. Then noticed my work at the university with teaching percussion ensemble, that often these multi-setups we would have, they had bongos and a couple of toms, maybe impact bass drums, cymbals, break drums, and you always switch in mallets, sometimes ignoring the musical line or connectivity. And I thought there's got to be something that a mallet we can use that'll sort of democratize all these sounds. And so we started using some T1 tenor mallets, because they give real instrument sounds. The conga drums sound like congas. They weren't just like the top hat. The bongos had a deep sound, break drums. And I thought, this is great, but there's got to be, maybe we could put a covering on it, add some latex to that to round out the sound a bit, so it's not all impact heavy, it's not all attack. And so we came up with two different models that had latex on them. So over the same set of instruments, you got a warmer sound. Again, turning a multi-setup into one instrument rather than a bunch of different kind of attacks and blends. So those multi-percussion sticks we have, that's where we came up with that. So we have two different hardnesses of that. And then I think the next thing I saw was a problem with my students and my own playing with the symphony was that suspended cymbals, you could always hear the mallets on the suspended cymbals, and I wanted no contact sound. Can we design a cymbal that's for I mean, a mallet that's for gongs, for cymbals, and even as a bass marimba mallet, that you just hear the instrument, you don't hear the mallet. So we came up with 2 different sizes for suspended cymbal, or gongs, or like I said, marimbas, even vibraphone. Just you hear the beauty of the instrument rather than the attack of the mallet. Yeah, finding the right mallet for a piece of music can be challenging because I think students hear their instrument being on top of it, when in reality I try to say, what is this going to sound like in the 10th row of either the concert hall, the recital hall, where you're going to perform this piece? What's it going to sound like 10 feet from your instrument or 20 feet from your instrument? And so I think you want to play for the room you're in and imagine, and that's why we always send somebody out to the audience. How does this mallet sound? How does that mallet sound? Plus, I think you got to decide, am I playing with a mallet in an ensemble situation where I might need a rounder sound to blend with others, or is it a solo situation where I might want more expressivity, so something that gets the attack out but also allows you to play a variety of dynamic levels as a soloist. So maybe something that has a looser wrap on a yard mallet, or something that has a looser mallet, timpani mallet for instance. If you're playing solo, you can play soft and you can play strong and have a good tone, where in an ensemble you have to blend with the people around you. So if this part is something I'm playing with brass, I might need a little bit more attack. If it's something I'm playing with woodwinds, I need a delicate light touch. So the students, I think they're taught by a lot of great teachers to bring all your mallets. Bring all your mallets to rehearsal. Bring all your mallets to lessons. And I remember going through my freshman year, my teacher telling me, well, you bring in such a heavy mallet bag. Yeah, we got a lot of mallets. Well, why do you use the same pair every time? It's like, okay, thanks. So I've always, let's try a different mallet here. Let's try a different grip. Let's try ways to adjusting. Now, what do you think that's going to sound like in the 10th row? Well, I don't know. Record yourself. Listen to it. How do your mallets sound? So a lot of students there's so many personal devices, whether it's an iPad or whether it's a phone, they can record themselves, put the stand back in the back of the studio and put it up on a music stand and be able to get some kind of feedback to what they're doing. So the sound on top of the instrument, whatever that instrument is not the same as out in the audience. And if we go to rehearsal and you think this sounds best here, and the conductor says that's a little dark, can you brighten up the sound? You got to have your mallet bag there so you can change colors, because your job when you're playing in the section for a conductor is give them the sound they want to hear, and be flexible enough to change and take someone else's ears as the judge in that case. Yeah, I started with innovative because Eric was family, and I started because I have a loyalty to people who have contributed their talents and energy towards making me look good. And in that case, the Cavaliers had a good reputation because people like Eric spent time and performed. Like, I'm going to help you. It's family, and I think that carries over in everything they do. If I hear something in my head, this is not right. We need to find something like this mallet, but that has more attack, and I can turn it over quickly and strike that gong with the back end. And I'll call Chris Long or someone on the team there is going to say, I think you should try this and do that. And even I know that they listen to their artists, and they try to find the sound that's your voice. If I have special needs, they'll help design things that I can use in one-of-a-kind sort of things that solves a situation in a concert. And they're very open-minded, they're very flexible, and that's what's great about innovative, is their flexibility and their high quality of materials and craftsmanship that they put into everything that they make.